Hey everyone, welcome to Gray Man Prepping. This is Tactical Tuesday where we talk about tactics, gear, and more. Tonight's going to be a little bit different because tonight's topic is All Saints Day, and it also happens to be what would have been my mom's 100th birthday. How's everybody doing out there? Okay. Just to know why I'm so right now, I just got back over from across the street. I've been over there since 1:30. My daughter started back to work. She still has the brace on and stuff going to work so they don't abuse her. And so her husband leaves at 12:20 to go to work, and she left at 2:15. And so she didn't get back until just a little while ago. And so I've been over there with all four boys. No, I love them. They were fairly good today. I put in 2 videos on there, and they were pretty much kept entertained by Moana and Big Hero 6. And anyway, so I'm trying to de-stress from that. Poopy diapers, fighting kids, you moms know what I'm talking about. So let's go up here and see who's all in the side chat and say hi to everybody. All right, first one in was Howie from Food Forest Permaculture, then Laura at Hedgehog's Homestead, Janice Where to Begin Homestead, Troop 1351. Not sure which one of the members are watching it there, but they got several people have access to it, so they've been seeing a bunch of them watching it. So, Gear Grinding 19, Suzanne Goulet's here, Suburban Hillbilly, Joe at Garden States Gardener, Green Granny 2, Denise is here, LG is in the house. Glenn at How to Garden is here. Mary Beth Smith is here. Yes, I will take a large white mug. And I will get to you, email you my mailing address and stuff. All right, let's see what we got here. So that was Cottonwood Ranch. That's Rachel at Cotton Ridge Ranch. Rachel? Rebecca? Crap. Having a brain fart here, guys. It's after Halloween. I'm having a brain fart again. Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. How you doing? Seabass is in the house. Brenda at Duncan 1900 Homestead's here. And see if I can catch back up here. And I think I've caught up. Woo! All righty. Before I hop into this, some other house cleaning business here. So prior to the countdown, I'm at 132 away, so it's 168. No, 168. Having a brain fart here. 868. Is that right? 868 away from subscribers. So it means I'm 132 away from hitting the 1,000 here. So the 1,000 subscriber and I froze. The 1,000 subscriber giveaway contest is ongoing. So far, Joe at Garden State Gardener has first place locked up. And then we have, hang on, let me look at it again. There's a couple others in here. Get the right spreadsheet up. Okay, Rebel Canners, Wide Family Farm, Carpenter Self Alliance, and Phelan Clan Wolf are all tied for the second, third, fourth, and fifth. Second, third, fourth, and fifth blocks. They're all tied there, so that's going to be a fun sort out. And let's see more of you get in there. Hey, Vitra, how it's doing? Chipper66, welcome. So the rules are simple. Just get people to subscribe, and they have, for you to get points, they have to say, your channel name sent me over. So if your channel name is Chipper66, they got to say Chipper66 sent me over, or Suburban Hillbilly sent me over, or Mary Beth Smith sent me over. However you get them over here, it doesn't matter. If you want to, do things on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, that doesn't matter. It's just getting people to come over, watch a couple videos, watch 3 videos, comment on those 3 videos. The reason I do 3 videos is because YouTube has a habit of not showing all the comments, and because a lot of times I will get it when someone makes a comment on a video, I usually get an email. Well, sometimes I don't get emails. Raven Cat Homestead, Cecilia, on my 2,000 subscriber giveaway, she commented on it and stuff, and they hit it. About 3 weeks ago, it shows up. And it's like, what the heck? Hers and about 20 other people's comments from that time period were blocked or archived and hidden by the platform. And then I'm looking at it. Wow. Okay. Vanessa Kitty's here. Keith Kronk is here. So, so that's why I say, 3 videos. If I watch 3 different videos, there's a good chance I'm going to see one of their comments for the giveaway. All right. What else is going on? Oh, side note, over on Cat Patton Family Compound, I kicked off the it's 3,000 subscriber giveaway. The drawing for that's going to be on Friday the 18th, I believe it is. There's a video on it, and to get in on that drawing for all those gift cards I'm giving away there on Camp Patton Family Compound, you got to watch that video and type, quote, "count me in," unquote, and nothing else. Don't type a whole bunch of crap and then put "count me in," because what I'm using to pull it up sometimes has trouble when there's got other stuff in it. Just put "count me in." There's a lot of good examples of it in there, and it works. All righty. Just take an eyeball look at side chat here. So yeah. Anyways, on my YouTube on my Camp Patton Family Compound pushed 2 videos. Pushed 1 video seriously hard. In the last 3 days, it's had. Oh shoot! Let me take a quick look here at it. It's just absolutely phenomenal. Well, in the last 2 days, it's had over 12,000 views. That's my lamp oils, alternative fuels for emergencies. They've been pushing that one like you would not believe. So, hey, maybe YouTube being in California, and it's seen the memo that PG&E is going to shut off power when the wind gets above certain speeds, so they can't be sued over fires in the right-of-way, that the state won't let them trim the trees out anymore because the environmental say it's bad to cut those trees down. I'm sorry, the stupidity of the wingnut government out there right now is bad. All righty, so let's get over here to the PowerPoint. And just to clarify some stuff from yesterday, and to set some records straight today. Hey, North Star Prep Steader. Hey, Kathy, how's it going? This period of days here is very near and dear to my heart for a bunch of reasons. One, obviously, it's my mom's birthday. 2, Halloween has been my favorite holiday since I was 9 years old. My brother and I built a haunted house, set up, and just ran it for years, and we had literally thousands of people coming through it at the end. All righty. So I went to verify what I said yesterday. I went to the Encyclopedia Britannica, brought up the information. So I'm going to cover that first, and then we're going to get back into discussing this stuff here. So I want to apologize if I seemed gruff yesterday when I was talking about it. So what is the difference between Halloween and All Saints Day? Halloween refers to the eve of All Hallows. All right, so the eve of All Hallows is the night before All Saints Day. All Saints Day, Christian holiday to honor saint and people, blah blah blah. All right, so All Saints Day is also known as All Hallows Day. All right, so I'm just leaving that so anybody can read through all the stuff on it. No, I am not Catholic. My wife was Catholic when we got married. Her mom is still Catholic, and so I get all these stuff. So Pope Gregory III established November 1st as All Saints Day, also known as All Hallows Day, to honor all saints of the church. Now, in this terminology, back then, saints of the church were members of the church. Same definition that Christ and the apostles used. So saints of the church that have attained heaven. The evening before All Saints Day became a holy or hallowed eve, thus Halloween. Okay, and that's what Encyclopedia Britannica says there, and it continues on with All Souls Day is a day for the commemoration of all faithful who have departed, who are baptized Christians, who are believed to be in purgatory because they died with guilt of lesser sins on their souls. It is observed tomorrow on November 2nd. It is also known as commemoration of all the faithful departed and the Day of the Dead. So there's the clarification. You have any problem with that? Take it up with Encyclopedia Britannica. Take it up with the Catholic Church. Okay, yeah. So my mom was born. Let me pull. I got some information to pull up there. So I want to talk about a little bit about my mom. Then we're going to talk about your dearly departed and how they helped you get prepared in this world. So pull that down. Put this up to get ready here. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with my mom's obituary. And it's going to be kind of hard to read, but if you put in Eleanor Patton obituary, and it's spelled Elinore, old English way of spelling it, and it comes up. All right, so she was born November 1st, 1922. She passed away Christmas Day, December 25th, 2006. And it goes and talks about her. Okay, so she was... she worked for Rolly Harper Rental Equipment Catering. I've talked about that on both channels quite a bit. She was survived by a daughter, Mary Angel Wilkinson, my older sister, half-sister, from down in Texas, myself, and my younger brother, Jeff. 16 grandchildren and 7 great-grandchildren. 2 sons and 1 grandson had preceded her in death, as had my dad, Mark Patton. And then it goes on to talk about the services and stuff. I knew my mom had been married several times. And so I'm going to bring the other thing up here right now, talk about it. And so this is off of ancestryfamilysearch.org. Oh, ancestorsfamilysearch.org. And I'm going to try to bring up. So this is a picture of my mom and dad. This was from back in 1966 when my sister got married. All right, so go back here. Come on. It's not what? It's not showing it now. Why is it not showing the picture? It's not showing the picture this time. It was earlier. Well, that picture there is my shortly before he left. This is my mom on the right, my aunt Evelyn June on the left, and one of their cousins, Glenn Davis. This is my mom on the far left, my cousin Carrie, her mom Evelyn June, my aunt, and her dad Jim Laudenslager. And my mom, when she graduated from which college was it? I think was it Glendale? Anyway, the college just changed its name from one of us. She always refers to it by its old name. And this was 1941 spring. Hey, fishes. The link is over there, but tell you what, Carol, I'll drop the link for you here right now. And some of the others who want to come up here. But so, you know, my mom's dad was born in 1900. He died in 1983. Her mother, Ethel, which we all called Gammo, I'll explain that later, was born in 1899 and died in 1988. Both my brothers, Kevin and Jeff, have passed away. Jeff was killed by a drunk illegal alien, and I'll say it, he was a drunk illegal alien, and his family got him out of the country before we could jump on him. This is when I worked for Homeland Security, and he got back down to Mexico. My dad was born in 1930, died in 1989, the year after I got married. There's some more information. Where was it here? Is this in here? Yeah. So my mom's, that's not showing my mom's first one. It's only showing my mom's main husband before she met my dad was Louis Angel Russo, the Playboy. And they got that annulled because he couldn't get a divorce, him being Catholic. So they got it annulled. But where was the other information? She had her first husband. Where was it? Where did I find it? I found it in here before. Oh, here we go. Spouses, view all. That's just photos. Sources. Anyways, her first husband she married in 1942. They were married 2 months when he was shot down. And so he was an Army Air Corps pilot. He was shot down over Europe in 1942. No kids from that marriage. So, but let's see. Will that bring up that picture? Yeah. So that's my grandmother, and there she is. There. Will that bring up the one? This was a few years before she passed away. She was called Gamble by all her grandkids. Whoops, too far. Because my sister, the oldest of her grandchildren, was trying to say grandma and it came out Gammo. And the other cousins picked up on it, that were younger than her, picked up on it immediately. And after she was known as Gammo. But my mom gave herself her nickname for all the grandkids. Her grandkids, her sister's grandkids, her cousin's grandkids, all called her the Wicked Witch. And my mom picked that name specifically, and it happened near Halloween when a couple of the grandkids were misbehaving, from different parents, different grandkids were misbehaving, and she came out and stomped out of the house. Let me change this up here. She stomped out of the house, stomped in and go, "You better behave or the Wicked Witch is going to get you with her finger." Actually, 2 of the kids peed their pants right then and there. But yeah. So Bros. Nicknames are some of the unique things they had in our family for the ladies. So the ladies on my side, how did they help me get prepared? Well, my grandmother was born on a ranch up in northern Idaho. in 1899. 14 brothers and sisters, 15 children, all in the family, all that lived. They had no electricity at the beginning, no running water. They had a 3-stall outhouse, to use. So, and they grew up growing as much as they could on the property, raising some cattle and stuff to sell, to buy stuff they couldn't grow on the property. And she brought and they did a lot of canning. They canned everything, meats, vegetables. What's that? Canning meats, vegetables? Yeah, they did it just like the Amish do. When you go to can that stuff, you don't can it like you do jams and jelly for 30 minutes or whatever. It's 3.5 hours you can it for to make sure everything in there is all bacteria stuff is dead. And that's the way before pressure canning, that's the way canning was. Pressure canning came about because people were being lazy and not canning for the full time. Oh, it's 2.5 hours long enough. And people were getting sick. All right. So, I grew up learning to can from her. I learned a couple skills from my grandmother that I forgot as I became a teenager, how to knit and crochet. I learned how to can the stuff there that we had on the property there in Martinez back in the 60s. My mom taught me, my sister, my brothers, taught all of us how to sew on her Neche sewing machine, which she won for Queen for a Day. She's taught us all how to sew by hand, how to play the violin, how to play the piano. There's so much stuff trying to remember all little things. Oh, how to cook and cook a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, my mom could not cook Brussels sprouts without burning them or spinach to save her life. Let's see. It was a lot of gardening. She taught us how to garden. My mom always had a garden, and so we all were always working in the garden. And so, chickens, taking care of chickens. My mom had chickens. Boy, did my mom have chickens. And when I was little, they went to butcher a bunch of chickens. They tried to keep me and my brothers away. And of course, we walked around the other side of the barn and we watched them do it. Oh, the chickens are running around without their heads on. Hey, CB, how's it going? Make sure I'm just trying to keep an eye open on the chat here in case anybody else sneaks in here. Did I say hi to Keith? Hi, Keith. Anyway, so I learned a lot about, how to take care of stuff from the ladies in the house. Now, on the male side, by the time I was born, my grandfather on my dad's side had already passed away. My grandfather on my mom's side had disappeared off and was, never to be found or seen from again. Never paid child support or anything else. I learned not to be like him. From all the things everyone said about him, cousins and aunts, uncles, and everything else, I learned not to be like Orville. So all I had, my dad was the only one to teach me, and my dad taught me a lot about prepping. He was born in 1930. He had, so he was born, just after the Depression had started. he was a true child of the Depression. He was approximately 8 years old when he stepped off the front porch of the house down in Indio, California. He got bit promptly in the ankle by a rattlesnake, and went through a lot of stuff of that. His right leg wound up being 2.5 inches shorter than his left leg. But I told stories from my grandmother and my uncle on his side of the family and stuff, and my aunt on that stuff, about all the stuff he went through as a kid, and how he was the meanest kid around because he didn't take crud off of anybody trying to tease him about being on crutches or about his leg being short. But when he was 11 years old, he was running the family gas station down there in Indio. When he was 15, things were still, 1945. Things were still kind of, and he went off to live with cousins in Skull Valley, Utah, because they had a big cattle ranch up there, and he went there to learn how to work cattle. And while he was up there, when he was he was 16 and a half, just before his 17th birthday, his cousins all signed him up for all the events at the rodeo, every one of them. And when he found out, he goes, okay. And he went out and he competed in all of them, and he took first place. He won the grand prize money for All Around Cowboy. And when he saw how much money he won, he goes, I'm leaving. I'm going to go join the rodeo circuit. And that's what he did for the next 10 years. That year and for the next years until 1956, he was in the top 10 every year for All Around Cowboy National. Also, when the rodeo season was off, he learned how to operate heavy equipment. He learned how to weld. He learned how to do concrete work. He learned how to do a lot of things. And so I learned a lot of things from him. And his number one thing he always told me and my brother was, it's okay to be a jack of all trades, but be a jack of all trades, but a master of many, not a master of none. And so, my parents, who are both gone, taught me a lot about prepping, a lot about getting preparedness, about just living prepared for life. And so if anybody else wants to come up here, here's the link again. Let me throw it out there again. And come up here and share some of the things that your parents or grandparents taught you to help you become better prepared, better homesteader, better gardener, cook, canner, whatever you want to, whatever it was that they taught you, please come up and share what they taught you. Let's see what else is going on here. Make sure. All right. Duncan says, my mom was 41 when she passed away 42 years ago. I was 7. My oldest daughter. It taught me how to garden from the time I was old enough to sit up on my own. She also taught me how to cook from scratch, how to can. She taught me how to sew. Brenda, she sounds like she was an amazing woman. I'm sad that she passed away so early for you. There's probably so much more she would have loved to taught you and your children. Old Ways is going. Good night. Just going back up, checking on the side chat here. I say, anybody wants to come up, come on up here. That picture, let me go back and look at that again. That actually, I'm looking at that picture again here. Let me bring it back up here. They went someplace. I'm trying to think where they were at because they have cameras in their hands. They were tourists, and I'm thinking they may have gone down to Disney, either Disney World or they were in Vegas. One of the two. But actually, looking at that shirt, he may have gotten that shirt on their trip to Hawaii a couple of years before. My sister took, a bunch of the members of family over to Hawaii. I still have to put him down. Okay. Yeah, Carol, I know what you're talking about. Lately, the last couple of weeks, Eli, my oldest grandson across the street, he's been staying up till 11 o'clock. He sometimes he'll just lay on the futon out in the living room there, and he'll lay there and he'll just jabber and talk. And if he has something in his hand, he'll be talking to it, playing, and he just will go on and on. Then all of a sudden, he's out. But sometimes my daughter was saying sometimes he's up to 11 o'clock. They'll hear him in the bedroom right next to theirs, chattering away until late at night. Sometimes he just doesn't like to lay down. Other times he'll lay down in his bed, but he'll just chatter. Yeah. And, learning not only to hold the flashlight still, but to hold it where they can see, not where you can see. Am I hitting it right? Am I hitting it right? Am I hitting it right? Hey, Joe. Welcome up, Joe.
Hey, how you doing, Gil?
All right.
So happy birthday to your mom in heaven. Happy birthday to her.
Oh, yeah. And, fortunately, I can't say this when she passed away. It was Christmas Day evening. She'd been in our house just about all day. All three of my kids were there. The youngest one was just turned 7.5, and they were. She was in there and stuff, and she's going, I'm exhausted. I'm going to go out and lie down and read a book. So she went out to the granny unit we built for her and back. And about an hour later, she called in to my wife and said, I'm not feeling good. Could you come out here? And by the time my wife got out there, because I was, she said, watch the kids. I'm going out there. So she took off out there. And by the time she got out there, my mom was in full cardiac arrest. She had a bicuspid valve and something else that was causing fluid to develop around her heart. And she had appointments set up, and she was supposed to go in 2 weeks for an operation to take care of everything. And so, hey, Bob, the link is in the link there. Just scroll up a little bit. I can still see it on the screen here if you want to come up here.
Hey, Bob.
And so, so she went fast. And, she was getting excited about having the operation and getting everything taken care of so she could go bowling again. That's something else my mom taught me, bowling. She and her cousins bowled on 3 different leagues during the week when we lived in Salantonga. And it was, we learned how to bowl, and we were in, my brothers and I were in 2 leagues ourselves, junior leagues, and yeah.
I'll tell you what, bowling was such a family thing, wasn't it? Everybody always went bowling, even when your parents, they had their own thing during a week, you stayed home, but bowling was always around a center of everything. My father, my uncles used to go during a week. My mom went once in a while. Here's a story about my mom, quick. My mom didn't go bowling for 30 years. Took my sister's kids. They went bowling 3 years ago. First game, she bowls 222.
Oh, yeah.
She hasn't bowled in years. She goes, I'm done.
I got it. I broke 200. I'm done.
You know, out of nowhere, you know, here she's barely moving too well. She goes up there, throws the ball. Whoop, strike.
My mom, when we were living there in up there in Tonga, that's down by Glendale and by in Southern California, Los Angeles. She was going to the Bank of America, and they had how do I put this politely? A very lousily designed and executed parking lot. And it drained over towards the door of the bank, and it channeled around the door and down towards the street. Well, when it starts raining on a parking lot, what does the rain wash off the parking lot?
Yeah, right down. What, you're frozen, Gil?
Oil for from all the cars parking there all summer long, and that little channel was about like this wide that the water came down through, and when it was hard, it washed oil up farther on the side, so people would step on the oil and try to step over, and people were always falling. And my mom fell and shattered her right kneecap. And they wound up having to remove half her right kneecap because it was so shattered so bad. And it was so funny. About 3 months later, watching her with a cast on bowling.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And because she couldn't do the way she had to bowl, she had to change the thing for bending the left knee and sliding and keeping the right leg was in a cast. She actually, her bowling game improved because it was keeping that leg straight and not bending it.
Slowed everything down for her. She's going whoop.
And she got a trophy that year. Hey, Shadow Scout, how's it going?
You know what's that? Bowling around here used to be a big thing. Now bowling alleys are closing at 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night. We had midnight bowling. We had bowling was open 24 hours because that was the thing to do. Yeah. You know, as a kid, as a parent, you know what time you were going. It was always packed. Now there's no such thing.
Yeah. Hey, Moon. Well, there's the link again. If anybody wants to come up. Yeah, because my mom bowled. 3 of her cousins that were down there bowled. Her aunt. Her aunt bowled, and her aunt was a little bit younger than my grandmother, so she bowled, and it was and then the husbands bowled, and then some of the kids were. It was amazing down there. All right, what does Brenda say here? She raised and put up most of what we ate. My mother saw the inside until I was 16 years old and got my license. Cool. Yeah, my grandmother, when so she was raised, out there up in the Panhandle of Idaho. She was 19. Shoot, have to look at the thing here. Hang on here. Trying to figure out. Okay, 22. She got married. She was about 21. 21. I'm trying to do the math here. Figure out exactly. No, she got married about 19. She and several of her brothers all left the farm and went into Portland to get work there. And she got work at hey, Tennessee Tactical. How's it going, Jeremy? And she got work doing bookkeeping at a small real estate office. And while she was there, she met Orville Litzy, her husband, who she married. And so she had, the only grocery store she saw wasn't a supermarket of today, or even a supermarket of 40 years ago. It was the old grocery store like you'd see in the movies from Little House on the Prairie, Bonanza. The other ones were, it's you go and you buy a 50-pound bag of flour, bags of beans. You buy bulk stuff. They carried the bulk stuff. They might have.
What did you do for milk? Did you get milk delivered to the house? Did you have everything at home?
Well, they had cows up there. They had cows.
Yeah,
they had milk, and occasionally they stocked up. My grandmother said they stocked up on the condensed milk because that was the new thing, and they stocked up on that for wintertime in case the cows went dry during the wintertime. And so they had there was a lot of stuff that my grandmother really didn't see a real supermarket until she was in. Well, a real grocery store until she was in Portland, and a supermarket until like 4 or 5 years later, after when she got divorced from Orville. After she got divorced from Orville and moved down to Southern California, and down there living in Glendale, it's like, whoa, these had big stores. But still, I mean, she cooked a lot of stuff. She was the first, she had married my step grandfather, Rolly Harper, and when he owned the Glendale Motorcycle Club and motorcycle shop, and it was going to all the motorcycle races that started his catering business, because they'd go out there, no one had anything to eat, and he got a little truck, a step van and stuff, and took stuff out there, and she cooked, and my mom cooked out there for the motorcycle club, and then they got one of the movies was shooting up a couple miles up the road, and they said, hey, can you guys come up and cook for our guys during the week? Ding, ding, money. And that's what kicked it off. And my mom told me that sometimes my grandmother would be sitting there over these big, huge pots, 20-gallon pots, 25-gallon pots, cooking stuff for the night before to go out on location, movie locations the next morning, to be served for breakfast and lunch. Okay. And so, yeah.
Now, did you guys have like an outdoor movies too when you were growing up?
Oh boy, we had fun. When I graduated from high school, and we were back up in Northern California, and we actually in Southern California went to a couple of the drive-in movies, then not too much, but I was I'd graduated. My younger brother was a junior in high school, and the movie theater in Pleasant Hill started the $2 a carload Tuesday. And of course, hey, I can drive. Hey, my parents said you could drive our station wagon to the movie theater. And we'd go in there. That station wagon would be loaded with kids from church. We get in there, we pull into a spot. Chairs out there on either side, people sitting everywhere. We didn't pull in, we backed in. So, everyone else, and just, so we'd have, all these kids watching, the movie and stuff, and it was like every other Tuesday we were at the $2 a carload theater.
You know what's so interesting? Because nobody ever complained about the movie. Like, you couldn't see it. You maybe had hair a little bit, but nobody really complained. Imagine kids going to see that today. They'd be like, "Oh, I can't watch this. I can't see it. The color's not good enough. The picture's not good enough.
Where's my reclining chair? Where's my hot buttered popcorn? Where's the
Yeah, I loved it. We had two near us when I was growing up, so I thought it was awesome when I was little. I thought it was the best.
So we carry. Cool. Talking about the school bus, I was having to pick the kids off the school bus since I'm watching them in the afternoon now that my daughter's gone back to work, and so I'm there to pick all the kids up off the school bus as they stagger in on different schedules. And I remember back, one of my first memories riding a school bus was back in the early 60s. My dad's friend Claude Odom was the bus driver. And he had to stop 2 doors down from us because that's where the bus stop was. But we were the last kids on the bus. And from the previous stop, when everyone got off, I would always be sitting up. You have where the steps come up, and it has that metal bar and the kick plate there. So for the front seat, I'd be sitting on that kick bar, hanging onto the thing. And I'm in first or second grade doing this, and it was not a problem back then. Seatbelts? What were those?
Yeah, what was
None of our cars had seatbelts then. I mean, I was watching Jeff Dunham the other night, and he was talking about riding his mom's car when he was a little kid. He goes, "Yeah, I think it was about 8 foot wide. I could run back and forth across the seat. There weren't any seatbelts." Hey, Carol.
Hey, that was
And
quick.
the same thing was, right? You would play around. I mean, we'd be running around on the school bus and stuff, changing seats and stuff while it's driving. Nobody got hurt. Nobody cared.
When I was wrestling, I would be. I had to lose a pound before match on a weigh match, and I'm like, oh man, I got to lose 1 more pound. I got 1 hour to do it. I'm on a bus. I'd be working out in a bus, be jumping up and down, moving, whatever you could do, keep on moving for that, whatever you can. Never had a problem with weight. Always made it. I can't even imagine doing that. You can't do it on the school bus.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
But the thing is, our parents were fine with it.
yeah.
The first car we got that had seatbelts was a 1971 Ford Galaxy 500 station wagon. In the back, it had the side facing seats, so the seats folded up sideways, and 2 people could sit there across from each other. And that was the first car that had seatbelts that I grew up in. 71.
Oh my, don't even get me started on seatbelts. I have an escape artist on my hands right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, right now, when Danny started riding the school bus, he's the one that he's turning 4.
Hey, Shadow.
No, he's turning 3. No, he's turning 4. He's turning 4 before Thanksgiving. I'm losing it here, folks. My oldest grandson is 7. The youngest one is 2.5.
Hold on.
Anyways, he, the first couple times we had to go on the school bus and show him how to get out. After a couple times of them being home and getting them off the bus, they weren't home at the time, and I was going to get them, and I get out to the bus, and he's already standing at the door. It's like, "Oh, you can get out of the seat now." He goes, "Yeah." He was having problems with getting the clip, figuring out the clip for the chest strap. Once he figured that out, he was out and loose. But I mean, it's like, Carol was saying, when I drive the kids around, as soon as I stop, it's Eli, leave your seatbelt on. Because he's already ready to push the button. He's like, leave it on. He's like,
yeah,
hits his brother.
Yeah.
I gotta tell the other brothers, leave your seatbelts on. And then we, all right, you're getting out and you're going in for your.
What did you just eat, Joe? What was that? Hand cleaner?
Yeah, no, just some hot sauce.
Oh,
It's very good.
I saw green and I was like, what was that?
Yeah, I saw that.
That
I'm not sure
color.
I don't think I forgot to make a comment on that video though.
No, this is a new one. This one I did today, comes out tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
What's in that one?
This thing was totally full. Now I'm already down to here.
Oh,
Wow.
It's
Is that a
I
hot
didn't
sauce?
Pour it out
Yeah.
your intestines later.
Wow.
This one's only has jalapenos.
Oh,
Oh, it's just
Serranos.
jalapeno. Yeah.
okay, I'll have to watch that one tomorrow. The one earlier was a mustard-based one, right?
Yeah, that was with habaneros and stuff. That was hotter. I could
Actually,
never.
that would probably be good. Yeah.
But this one is so. You got the heat, you got the sweet, you got everything. It's like I just want to. Whoop.
It's really good, huh?
It's a good snack.
Probably be good with
Sounds like
Cuban black beans and rice.
Hey, Swede, how you doing? Our friend from Europe over there.
Yep.
I'm doing good, Bob. Good to see you.
Right on.
I didn't let this brew long enough. Gosh, where's Aid? I'm actually having some PG tips for the first time.
Cool.
I don't see the difference. Don't tell him I said so. That's our
Okay.
secret, everyone. It's English tea.
Was it Earl Grey?
Uh-uh.
Oh.
It's PG tips. And they happen to be rainforest certified, Bob. So, every time you buy it, you're not harming the rainforest.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yay, bunch of lefties. I can't believe Abe drinks this stuff and gives them money.
Oh, my
I
Lord.
have to talk to him.
Cancel culture, I tell you. It's freaking.
Give him heck. Gotta
Yeah.
give him heck.
When I was a kid, up until the time, oh geez, I'm trying to remember when my mom got rid of the chickens. Even when we moved down south, we took chickens with us down south to Hunga, and then we took chickens with us to Fredonia, Arizona, and back to California again. I'm trying to remember when my mom got rid of chickens. It was. She got rid of the chickens. She got rid of the chickens in 1990, the year after my dad died. So it was, never store bought eggs.
Wow. I forget what somebody was saying about. Oh, we were talking about the salmon last night. Somebody being able to get fresh salmon. And
Tons of that out here.
Yeah, out there, and they were talking about, where was I? She was dressed like a witch last night because somebody had knitted her a witch hat and she didn't get to wear it that often. She comes into Courtney's lives. Oh shoot. Rebecca? I can see her. She's an older woman and she does tinctures and canning, and anyway, it was one of her guests, and they were talking about Alaska and the salmon running, and the person who was from Alaska and Canada was saying, yeah, they, feed it to their chickens, like the leftover stuff. Like they mush up the bones and the leftover pieces and then feed it to their chickens. Well, then you get eggs that are incredible because the chickens are getting all those nutrients. Like they cook it down and stuff. Because we were talking about feeding it to the dogs. Like, on what was that show? The Last Alaskans. How that couple would catch it and fillet it and smoke it, and then they would have it frozen, basically, because it's frozen up there, for their sledding dogs, like the parts and stuff. They would eat that. But I don't know where. I'm sorry, I just went off into salmon land.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. That's all right.
Coeur d'Alene River. Okay.
It must have been Joe's hot sauce.
Got you totally off.
Talking about salmon, I just had to look something up here. My grandmother used to talk about her brothers and her going fishing with their friends from the Coeur d'Alene Indian Reservation up there by Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Mm-hmm. And because they were fishing with Indians, there was no limit to what they caught. They could use net fishing at the falls. They could fish with nets. And she said the salmon they used to get up there, they loved it.
Well, the rivers out here in Washington State are full of salmon now. Since the state the Indian reservations got pretty wealthy with gambling. And okay, here's how it happens. The Fed had been sending generations of their people to universities for free. Some of those people came back to the reservations here in the Northwest with very intelligent people and wrote constitutions for their reservations. So that enabled them to begin making more or less their own country, opening gambling and tourism, and these folks got wealthy, and I freaking love it. I love it because some of our natives here were almost going extinct. Mm. And they got so wealthy and have remained so that they've took over fisheries here in Washington State, many of them, not all of it. They took it out of the hands of Washington State and now they manage it. They went to natural riverbanks and allowed nature to begin laying eggs, and they grew trees around the rivers that were used to be all cut down, and now the salmon are so thick in our rivers because the natives took it over. They brought it back to a natural state.
Amen.
It's beautiful. I mean, you can go down to the rivers here and you can see them just full of fish. I freaking love it, man. I guess that's my salmon thing.
I didn't know the mussels were endangered either. Yeah, me either, suburban hillbilly. I didn't know they were endangered. The wild mussels. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. A suburban hillbilly said it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, not endangered? Is that what you meant?
Correct. Not endangered. I have autocorrect. Yeah. Didn't know that they were not endangered. Yeah. There's a lot of things going on that's good and bad for the aquatic wildlife.
Mm-hmm.
That the Indians taking over there. Good. State of California taking management of the rivers back from Pacific Gas and Electric and making them pull out all their fish ladders and mini dams and everything else. Bad. In Northern California, they pulled out just about out all of the small dams they had on the rivers with all the fish ladders and everything else, and the dams created these nice, little mini lakes, maybe a quarter mile long at the most or whatever. And well, the fish would have a chance to rest a little bit as they swam up to go through the next one, and more fish made it up there and were spawning, and more fish. I mean, it was a great ecosystem until the idiots, hanky blowing idiots, ecologists said, "Oh, it's killing fish. We need to pull them all out." And the wingnuts in state government said, "Oh yeah, we'll pull them all out." And now you can hardly find any fish in those rivers because it's no longer they didn't restore any of the rivers to what they're supposed to. They didn't take care of it. There's other people encroaching on the rivers doing stuff, and there's no safe ecosystem there anymore for the fish. Idaho Garden Girl's in the house, and Tammy's here. Rebel Canners. Tammy, what are you doing up so late?
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, I'm going to post a video about the Ilwa River that they removed a dam in there. It was built like 1900, 1910, and the natives took over the river. Yeah. Beautiful results, man. Just now, it's a combination of the Washington State and the Native American tribes, and they restored it back to its natural path, and I call it an absolute success. There we go. The Iwa. I think that's the Lummi tribe. I think there's a lot of American tribes here in Washington State.
I saw something about the dam removals up there and the Indians taking over stuff on it. Mm-hmm. There are several videos on it. Good videos.
Let's see, this one is.
Oh. Yeah, how you take care of that? You wake their butts up extra early in the morning, and after a couple times, it's like, hey, if I can't sleep at night, you ain't sleeping in the morning.
This is the region 10 years after the removal of that dam on the Ilwa River, right there. It just goes to show you, man can try to engineer and man can try to do this and that, but when you let nature take its course, hey, Mother Nature knows what to do. They're the experts,
Oh yeah. But yeah, so Bob, I know you've talked a bit about in past lives a little bit about your parents and stuff, and
Yeah.
what they taught you and stuff. What can you touch on some of that now about some of the things they taught you that helped you become better prepared for life and a little bit on your prepper journey, if you will?
Absolute honesty and hard work. I mean, those two are the most important things that they taught me. Honesty and hard work. Well, I'll be successful in my prepper journey. That's that's the foundation. Dad taught me a lot of different things in the shop so I can be self-sustaining. And in gardening and growing my own food is like what I'm doing right now. I'm pulverizing cardboard boxes and bond paper to feed the worms. Is without the earthworms, your crops are going to struggle. Let it go natural. Let it go. Let the earthworms get in there and use composting. Let it go natural. Leave it alone. If something works, don't fix it. Those are some of the life lessons. But I'd say honesty and hard work are the two most important things that they taught me in my childhood.
Hey, Tibor.
And a reason why. I think that's very important for parents to teach their children. This, like, we would have dinner, and my dad and I would go out in the garden and knock back some of the weeds and hill the potatoes. And he was very good at telling me why we were doing what we were doing.
Yeah.
And that's how you start off with children. You need to explain to them why. Okay. If we don't do this to the potatoes, well, we're not going to have any potatoes to eat. And I'm going to teach you how to hill the potatoes and how to plant them and how to add fertilizer and all that. It's very important. Very, very important.
That's on my phone. Tibor.
But as far as my prepping stuff goes, the Air Force had a lot to do with that. Kitting, being organized, knowing where your things are at and how many you have, which has all gone out the window since we moved.
But you're working on reorganizing, right?
You bet I am. Yeah.
Yeah. When you talked about honesty and stuff, one of the things that brought up that I told, I mentioned a couple times before, but I totally forgot about it, was one of the things both my mom, my dad, my grandmother taught me were consequences.
Yeah, that's part of it.
So it's like, what reminded me specifically was this comment here: whip our butts. When we did something bad, it was, and we knew, and it was like, we were told when we do certain things wrong, we're going to get our butts whipped. Mm-hmm. And what really made it sink in after a while is like, we were old enough, it's like, go out to the willow tree, and cut me a switch. And but that point sank in. Is like, okay, I'm not going to do this again because no, I'm going to have to cut the switch that I'm going to get beat with. And if I cut too small of a switch, he's going to beat me with that one and have me get a replacement switch. So I'm going to get twice as many.
Okay, so
I think my mom went the opposite because they were raised that way on the farm. So then she didn't do anything because she was afraid to, and her kids were wild children.
Yeah. My wife
had to be like a medium ground. Yeah. Although I wanted to beat my son with a switch today. Between the toilet and then pouring powder all over himself before I had to leave the house to pick up Hannah.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Foul language. What happens if you use foul language? What if you use foul language? What would your parents do? How would they
wash your mouth out with soap? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my parents.
I had a deal on rice. Look in the corner for about 30 minutes. That kind of stuff.
Oh wow!
My husband used to have to bite the bar. He had to bite it, not just put it in his mouth. He had to bite it and then just sit with it in his mouth. And
it was one of those things because we tried it the first couple times, and so once the bar was in, we make the mistake of keeping our jaws tight. And as it went in, it scraped all that soap off on the teeth and packed it all in. It's like, next, after a while, it's like, go wash your mouth out. As white as I could get it.
I think a big influence in my life was,
Suburban Hillbilly.
well, I grew up in a farming area, and when I was very young, most of the farmers in my area had 1 to 5 acres to make extra money or to make a living. And very young, mom in my hand and mom's hand, going into the blueberry fields to help the neighbors pick their blueberries for free. Mom didn't charge them nothing. The ladies all had coffee once a month, and they would send out the word, we need help picking the berries. That was very influential. And then later on, when I got into high school, even before I had a driver's license, I went to work for the Japanese Americans.
Mm-hmm.
And they are the most decent Americans I have ever known in my life. And they taught me about, well, they don't believe in punishment so much for their kids, they kind of took me in. They even went to my high school graduation. All that. I mean, they participated because they taught me the value of an honest day's work. You put your head down, you focus at what you're doing, don't be distracted. And also they taught me that when you do something stupid, you just disgraced yourself. Don't disgrace yourself.
I like that.
Go the extra mile. Like example was, I worked for them for years, and I'd be picking strawberries down on my hands and knees all day. And as I was going through the strawberries, picking them, I'd also pull weeds out. Do you understand?
Yeah, go the extra mile.
Go the extra mile. Leave a neat and tidy job done when you get done. And I learned that from the Japanese Americans, who I think are some of the finest Americans I've ever known in my life.
Yeah.
That they were very influential in my life.
And giving a chili pepper doesn't necessarily work if the kid likes spicy stuff. My kid likes to scream a lot. And I tried that. I heard a parent say, put a little hot sauce on their tongue. Now he'll come to me sometimes. I haven't done it in forever. And he'll go, hot sauce?
Are you serious?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Eli loves spicy food. He always loved spicy food.
Hardcore kid.
Yeah.
My daughter was, we had a tough time breaking her of sucking her thumb. And so, I finally said, hey, my parents used to put Tabasco sauce on my thumb. We put it on her thumb. First 2 times she's like that. Third time she's like, The next time we did it, she was like, more. It was like, okay, we got to find something else to get. All right, fine. You want Tabasco sauce? Don't suck your thumb. That worked.
Wow.
But one of the things we did we learned also for raising our kids was a great book called Dare to Discipline, not punish. Discipline. Yeah. You have to set rules.
That was James Dobson.
You do this. Yeah. This is going to happen.
It doesn't work with special needs kids, but it's a good book.
I know.
It's a great book.
Yeah, it was. It was great. And of course, then some of the teachers, that's a bad book to have. It's like, yeah. Hey, our kids aren't going to be going out shooting people up, aren't going to be robbing, ain't going to be stealing stuff. Are our kids causing trouble in school? Well, no, but they know they've been given the boundaries.
Here, I bought some. That's what made me cry in the grocery store. I was crying because my mom would eat stuff that I would eat that my husband won't touch, and Brussels sprouts is one of them. Mushrooms is the other. And I'm sure, and peppers, but she couldn't eat peppers anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yep.
So, Shadow Scout, what were some of the things your parents taught you that helped you out?
Well, especially my grandfather, he taught me at least 3 rules. The first thing is be in time, don't be late. be loyal, work hard, and you will go far and succeed in your life.
Those are good lessons.
Yeah, they are. Mm-hmm. They are.
Unless you're a white man in America, then it's kind of like iffy right now about the whole work hard and succeed. You know, somebody might get promoted in front of you if they need to make a quota. You know.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Well,
that's been for a while though. We've had those quotas for a while.
I did run into that at Boeing with the quotas,
Mm-hmm.
but I noticed that those people who met certain quotas eventually got laid off when the industry would go down. But I kept my job because I was on the airplane and I was doing the extra mile on every job I did. That's why they kept me. I never got laid off. Never did.
Awesome.
Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
Some of my father's best advice was if somebody talks to you, you make sure you look at them in the eye, because you know what? They don't have to talk to you. So they're important to you, so you should be important to them. So make sure you stare at their eyes, make sure you listen to everything. And that's just so important. Because my son has problems. So his eyes, you're talking to him, he's trying to talk to you, but his eyes are over here, eyes are over here. The only thing I think is my father coming at me. Please look at my eyes. Look that way or this way or that way. Just always look at somebody's eyes, and that's the way you get somebody's attention, and that the conversation, that you're learning everything in the conversation.
Yeah,
that was very important.
I forget where I learned that. I don't think. Yeah, because my dad would always avert vision too. He was kind of a shy man, but I think too he was on the spectrum. And but I remember that for interviewing, like give him direct eye contact. I gave such good direct eye contact one time in an interview that the guy's like, I feel terrible. You've been awesome for this whole interview, and I just found out I have to hire a family member.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. I would love to hire you, but I want to be truthful with you. That you would have got the job if it wasn't for that phone call I got right before you came in. And I was like, well, I appreciate you being honest at least.
Yeah, that's good of him.
Yeah, that was nice. He's like, you'll do great at whatever next job you go for. And I'm like, thanks. I really kind of needed yours, but okay.
I had a situation like that, Carol, and I was working for a mobile hydraulics repair shop, family-owned business, fixing heavy equipment, and I got laid off, and the boss's nephew took my job. I was like, well, he did me a favor, actually, because I knew with how heavy everything was, that this is not a job forever.
Yeah.
You just cannot physically do it forever. So I got laid off from that, went to some more schooling, and then joined the Air Force and went into aviation. Yeah. He did me a favor overall.
Yeah, I think they probably did me a favor too, because it was out away from my house a little too far once I got out there. You're right. It ended up being a good thing. It was just too far. Here, Chief.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just reading what Gear said there. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, Garrett's been fired for worse than that.
Yeah,
for meeting an old, something like that.
Construction for the one company. Because a lot of people got laid off during the wintertime. I only got laid off once, and that's when just about everybody got laid off that 1 year. Because the big contract they were counting on got pulled back from the state because the state decided they had to redesign the whole job. And so they laid off a lot. But, most of the time I worked because they knew that I was going to be there, and they could count on me to get in the mud and do the job. Well, the guys are going, oh man, this is nasty. But then, of course, I grew up. My first construction job was with my brother. We worked live sewers, so mud ain't nothing.
Well, hear it from a woman's perspective. Carol, what did your parents teach you that influenced you today?
Gosh, that's a hard one, Bob. Just to be a hard worker. It wasn't about like, I think by watching my mom get caught up in her perfectionism, I suffered from it too. And I watched my dad just get it done. And it wasn't always perfect, but he got the job done and he got it done well. But, like mom would always be like, come behind him and want it done better. And one day my dad's like, well, it's easy to criticize the ones doing the work. And that's all he said. And he walked away. It's like, damn straight, Dad. Yeah, that's right. But my boss has also taught me something once, like about perfectionism. And he was like, I've never met a perfectionist that got stuff done because they get so caught up in their perfectionism. True. And like mom did get things done. Don't get me wrong. She was awesome at certain things. But when she would go to do other things, she would get so caught up in how it had to be that it would make her freeze. And I find sometimes I get there too, and I have to talk myself through it. It's like progress, not perfection. Progress, not perfection. So, but when I was younger, it was hard work. I remember the Italian guy who owned the deli and bakery that I worked at. I was in the bakery. I was maybe 16, and right away he took my parents aside. He's like, she's such a hard worker. I've never seen a hard worker like her at her age. Because I would go in and like you said, Bob, I would go the extra mile. I would clean the tracks on because I worked in the bakery. I would make sure like everything was clean and presentable. I didn't like it to look messy. I would take things out and do them so they look nice. And I just remember that. And my dad being proud because my mom heard him say it. Like my dad didn't hear because my dad had ADHD. He was off staring at whatever they had in the calzone. And then my mom told him later, and he was like, "Yep, that's my girl." But yeah, pretty much just if you have a job, do it well and keep at it. Don't freeze until you're going to get it just right. Just keep at it.
Yeah, I heard someone.
I think they told me that. That's an invaluable lesson.
It is.
It has nothing to do with work, but just loving people.
A lot of everything has to do with your surroundings too. For me, it was my neighbors. I had my grandmother. My grandfather he passed away before I was born, but all my uncles, everybody was always in the house. There was always something to learn from, or somebody to go to, or somebody to play with. I was very lucky to have that. My grandmother almost seemed like it was my mother. She's the one that took me to school, or if I needed to ride somewhere, or I needed to go, or she was the party atmosphere too. Everybody came to our house for family events instead of us traveling. My next door neighbor was a big part of my life. He actually lived 204. I was one of the last persons he remembered when he had dementia at that age. He's like, "Where's Joey? Where's Joey?" And because I would always listen to him. He complained. I didn't care. I listened to him, And yeah, he was, and his wife lived in 97. Yeah, he said, "How do you live I lived 204 years. They go, because he had paper and articles on him, and like, how did you live so long? He goes, I did lives doing shadow boxing and knee bends. That's how he lived so long.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And also, a little bit of whiskey on the side too.
Oh, really? I think they all had a little bit of whiskey because that was kind of like the cough syrup back then. Like,
Yeah, it was.
little
Yeah,
shot
To be
of
honest, the ones that
whiskey
live
if you didn't
long,
feel good.
the ones that live long always did it in extreme moderation.
Yes, they did.
Mhm.
Yeah. My great grandmother and my great uncle. I
Yeah.
have to say, it's like what Joe said, you kind of look to the ones that did it well in your family. Like you kind of learn a little from different ones. And my great uncle Harry, man, he got up and did his little exercises. He always stayed like working. He worked a job and then retired, then worked another one and retired from that. But when he was really retired, like in the senior, it was like one of those senior homes where you also had a nursing home section. He'd still get up and do his exercises. He had like, it wasn't gin. What did they play? But it was like a card game group to keep his mind going. He also did Sudoku. He would walk, like he would eat well. He didn't do the smoking or the drinking. I don't even know if he probably did whiskey only when he was sick because he didn't really drink. And he listened to people, like you said, Joe. He would listen to people, look them in the eye, especially children. Like his grandchildren, he always wanted to hear like how everything was going and would just listen to them and then would, oh, and how did that make you feel? And would like show them. He was actively listening to them by asking them questions about it. As they got older, they probably were like, oh, Pops, because I know his grandchildren, they're my cousins. But when you're young, that's like what you love. Like you've got somebody to really listen to you because you kind of get blown off when you're below like a certain level. Especially back then, you were kind of told to just stay over there and be quiet. So yeah, I have to say I learned that from my mom Meyer. She was a hard worker. That was our German side of the family. Always had something on the table for the family and always made sure she had, and this was like back when rations were happening. She still would have something for dessert, even if it was just a little fruit cocktail. She would try and make like a dinner and then have something a little sweet at the end if she could. My mom remembered, like, especially for the grandchildren. But she did everything, like would go out in the back on the stump and boop, there goes the chicken for dinner. And, that was the back in the day where they had the washboards and they hang out the wash for drying. No dryers back then. So she wore her heels until she was 90 years old in the old folks home.
Wow.
Andrew. Yeah.
I want to deviate here just for a second. Joe, Misha Lee, did she make her 1,000?
I think she needs 10 more.
10 more?
She's at 990.
Who?
Misha Lee.
He put out a video for someone who's just a short ways away from 1,000. The reason is I just got a pop-up saying thanks for coming from Joe's. So that's what reminded me about it. So check Joe's video earlier today on Misha Lee and help her get to 1,000. She only needs 10 now.
10 more, 9 more, yeah, something like that. Let's check it out. Thank you, thanks, Gil.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, I know I'm trying to get to 1,000 on this channel here, and so, but
yeah, she's at 990, so she needs 10 more. 10 more.
You want to throw her link up there?
Yeah, the not quitting is a big deal. Idaho Garden Girl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very important. Don't quit.
I wish that was reinforced as I got older, but it was like as I was getting older, it was like, well, try everything out was the other way. Like try everything out while you're young, but then that meant you got to quit a lot, which is like the opposite. Like it's a dual-edged sword there. Like try everything out before you get into your groove, so you know the groove that you want to be in, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
when you get older and you have a family, you don't have the quitting option anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it is.
That's probably why they did it, Bob. They probably
Bob, I hate to disagree on that. My son-in-law.
Okay.
Don't use him as an example, though.
Well, I'm going to use him as an example. My wife and I raised our kids. And when they were old enough, we taught them to do their own laundry. Make their beds, wash everything. Okay. She tried doing that with, she's been trying to get the kids, and what's Andrew thing is? Andrew throws everything in the wash, throws it in the dryer, puts it in a basket, and puts it out in the living room. Says, all right, kids, there's where your clothes are. Doesn't even have them help fold it and put it away. So when she does fold it and put it away, they just pull it out of the drawer and put it in a basket like, Dad does it. So they pulled the clean clothes out, and then, and he's quit, I don't know how many jobs, because I just don't feel like I'm appreciated there, so I'm going to quit. And it's like, oh, you got another job lined up? Oh, I think I do.
Think?
Yeah.
It sounds like my brother-in-law, how he was when he was younger. He finally went, as he got older, he went back to school for IT, and he got laid off a couple of jobs. I wonder why, but then finally got one that he could keep because his wife was like, oh, no, it's because they were doing bad. I'm like, sure.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with his personality disorder.
Yeah, well, he's back working for a company that he worked at before that is actually something he can do.
Oh, okay. Well,
but whether or not he's going to quit again, I don't know.
Oh dear.
Well, you see, why I brought that up is because I've been responsible. I've always been responsible, and I got a wife and kids at home. You think I'm going to quit? Because they still need food and shelter.
Yeah, I love Misha. Misha's a sweetheart. Yeah, they do. Yeah, you can't.
Misha's at 992.
Yeah, she deserves it too. She's been very good at the YouTube thing as far as being consistent. And she's a great person. She's just so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so actually I can pull off a fast one here. If I do this right. Go ahead and keep talking, folks. I'm going to help Misha out here with another one.
True, LG. You don't go to work because you're appreciated. True. It's nice to be, though, to find both at a,
Yeah.
I only found out I was appreciated.
I hit her up first with Camp Patton, and I just hit her up with Gray Man.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Gil.
I need to do that.
It's good. It's good to do things for people that really deserve it, and she really deserves it. And she's such a kind lady.
Yeah.
She got one more from me here. I just rang her bell.
Okay, awesome. Cool.
There we go.
All right, we got her at 994 now. Six more. We can get her to 1,000 tonight, folks.
Well, she will have one from me soon too, in a couple of minutes.
Nice.
Oh.
Thank you.
You should drop her link in our group, Joe.
I put it in the private chat.
I meant in our mod group, in Courtney's mod. Ask Courtney and then drop it in her. Ask her if you can drop it in there. Because I don't know if I'm already subbed to her, but I don't know if everybody in there is. She's such a nice lady.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good question, Gray Man.
Okay. What do his parents say? That's part of the problem.
Oh.
His dad took off when he was little.
Oh, there you go. His
older sister basically raised him, and his mom really wasn't, because she was working so much and did everything, so he had everything done for him. He was a spoiled brat. They turned him into a narcissist.
Into a Tom Cruise.
No, into I'm trying to think of someone else.
Was raised by all women.
Yeah, but he's he matters. All right, if he has to get up in the middle of the night because Megan's knee was bothering him to take care of the kids. Once she was up and moving around, still on her knee in the brace and everything, he ran back and went to bed.
He's a
before
pussy.
She was all set.
Just put it right out there. He's a pussy.
Mhm.
I mean,
But he's and because he was raised up getting everything, he thinks he's
Yeah.
entitled to everything. And I almost shot him when I found out what he did on one time. They came to visit us at the house, and we set him up in a side room. She went in to wake him up one morning, and he had a stiffy, and he goes, "Well, you caused it. You need to take care of it." In California, that's called date rape.
What?
I don't get it.
He told
had
her
a stiffy?
she had stiffy. Doink. Woody. And
Who was she? Who
Well,
was she?
his-
my daughter
his
told my daughter she had to take care of it because she
If-
caused it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
He's a
Wow.
disease.
Yeah. Parasitic.
My wife is just hoping that we can get everything taken care of, all the work done here paid off, so she can come up here and get a job up here. And once she's up here full time, then it's gonna be, hey, you can divorce him now. We will help you.
Yeah.
We're both up here now, and we can help take care of the kids.
Yeah. That's a scary thing, I'm sure, for her.
Yeah, and I mean, what the worst part about him is the number 2 kid, the one that he adores, that he gave, kind of snubbed him off on Sunday during his birthday party because Megan did all the work for it. And anyways, he's always going, I want to be just like my dad. I need to put on a lot of weight.
Wait, did he say that at the party in front of everybody?
No, he said that to me and to my wife and to other people. I need to put on a lot of weight so I can be like my dad.
Wow. That's
problem
an
is
interesting thing you're teaching your son. The only character trait or character thing is. Oops,
and he's also seeing, Aiden's starting to develop that selfishness that his dad has.
My best friend had a husband that was similar. She was making good money. He lost his job. He got laid off. He was a investment banker, if you can call it that. Couldn't get really another job at a bank other than like a lower level job. So he decided to stay home. She would get home from work. She would walk in the door and he would hand her the broom, basically, so she could take care of everything else that he was supposed to be taking care of. She ended up divorcing him, and the one that he doted on ended up having big problems. The one he didn't, that he kind of didn't want to deal with, awesome kid. He ended up getting close to the stepdad who owns tractor. They're not companies. It's like where you go and buy a tractor, a dealership. He owns tractor dealerships in Ohio. Great kid. I think he even operates one of his own now of the dealerships. So yeah, tell her there's, if he's going to be abusive, there's stories on the other side where things do work out and you still might end up getting married. She only had 2 at the time, so I know she's scared with that because they've got 4, right?
My mom
that's hard.
Married, had 2 kids, got divorced or got annulled. He bent over backwards to keep her from filing for divorce papers and got it annulled.
Yeah.
And my dad, she married my dad a couple of years later, and
ta-da.
She had, meant
to be.
She according to her, her best grandkids came from my dad.
Moon, I was thinking the same thing. She should have said, "Have you heard of a Lorena Bobbitt?"
Yeah. Well, put it this way: When my youngest found out about it several years later,
Mm.
all right, he was already he was very well trained in shotgun, rifle, pistol. He wanted to go after him. Fortunately, he was 800 miles away at the time, and we told him, no, you're not going to ruin your life.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No. Yeah, don't ruin your life. That's horrible.
Yeah. But yeah,
right, LG. Yeah, I like what LG said. Fortunately, she has you.
Yeah.
Because some girls don't.
Yeah.
And they're stuck with jerks like that for the rest of their life, or they leave them and they follow them.
Off over the last 8 months. He's been unemployed for 8 months. You need to go back and get a job. And she got a job for a little bit, and got a job and was working, and he didn't take care of the kids hardly at all. Yeah. And when she went in for the knee surgery, he was mad because it was getting scheduled, and he knew that he was going to have to go back to work. And he finally called up one of his former employers, and we'd love to have you back.
Are you serious? He could have gotten that job back before that, probably.
He could have gotten that job back the day he quit the other one.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And the guy, and here's what's something else that ticks me off about him. Sorry, I was supposed to be praising parents and stuff, but this is one parent I just want to get rid of.
It's hard to be a parent sometimes. It's very hard to be a parent.
All right.
That's the job that never ends.
Before they got married, he got he got a Volkswagen Passat, stick shift. I'm Studley. I'm okay. When they started having kids, my wife gave my daughter her Sienna minivan. Megan has never learned to drive a stick shift. She can't drive the Passat. What does dipshit do sometimes at night or when he goes to work? He'll sneak out. He'll take the minivan instead of his car. And if something goes wrong, if I'm not here, she's screwed. And finally, I told her, next time he does that, I'm going to call Child Protective Services on him because there's no way for you to transport him. And she told him that, and finally he stopped taking her car.
Good. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, that's ridiculous. My husband took my stick shift and drove it because he felt like his car was safer for me, and that was before we even had kids. Yeah.
Oh, LG. Oh, man. LG, I'm so sorry.
No, that stinks.
Yeah. My oldest son can't.
I'm sorry, LG.
He doesn't like driving, and when he gets up here, he'll learn to drive. He's had driver's license. He's almost got his driver's license, but he just hates driving in California because in California, 70% of the drivers are idiots. And literally, I mean, it's like you're supposed to be going here. They, says, "Oh, the rules don't apply to me." And so he gets so frustrated trying to drive there that he gives up on it and either takes the bus or, right now we're taking him to work, which is only a mile away. 1, 2, 3 blocks, 2 blocks, and 2 blocks.
It's too hard for him to drive. Wait, what?
He can't. All right, he's Asperger's, and people that don't follow the rules, he gets all frustrated with. And the rules of driving, and these, the 70% of the idiots in California don't follow the rules.
No, they don't.
And so, I mean, he can't deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's my problem when I drive.
But yeah,
You have a touch
yeah.
of Asperger's, but it's usually
Right
because
now,
they
he
don't go
just-
the darn speed limit. They're going below it, or they're coming beside me, going way over it, and I don't like that either. Either
Yeah.
one. Don't get in front of me and go below the speed limit, and don't come up my side and fly like you're on a racetrack.
Yeah.
I can't stand that.
And so when he up here, people drive a little bit more safe, a little more conscientious and stuff. And you're like, hey, farm equipment. Okay, yeah, we just sit behind the farm equipment until it's safe to slowly pass it.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's our traffic jams here. We got a harvester going down the road and 5 cars behind it.
Joe's liking those endorphins.
90%. All right. I was trying to keep it down a little bit. All right. I used to be a deputy sheriff in California. I know exactly what it's like. Yeah. I wrote more friggin' tickets my first week on the job than most guys. What the heck? You go, idiots.
Yeah, oh gee. I'm sorry you don't have that backup, hon.
Yeah. Yeah, we tried telling our daughter, she, some of the people she asked her out and she'd bring him, is like, oh, no, this guy's a dork. You need to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Tried to tell her to get rid of this guy, but he'd already tricked her or forced her into, and then she felt that she had to stay with him.
No. Your daughter sounds like she was very sweet.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Stardew Homestead, how's it going?
Hey, Stardew, what's up? He fits right in with us. Funny.
All right. All right, Stardew, there you go. There's the link.
On
I would like to have you up here, Stardew.
Bit of good news, though. My son should be done with all of his stuff moved out of the old house by Friday, and I made arrangements for junk removal next week. Junk removal and getting the moving truck and get all. I want my tools back. I want my machine tools. I miss my. I've got projects just waiting.
Yeah.
Your machine tools, like Miss Verna Gord.
Almost, but Miss Verna is.
Yeah.
Miss Verna is,
Cats and dogs.
Yeah, you see your tools like that.
Yeah, he'd put his face on probably the drill press or something, but his wife would kill him.
Yeah, She would do a bobbit thing on this bob.
Turn Bob into Bobette. Oh.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, my son's moving some more of his stuff up to his room right now. I can see him on the cameras inside the house there. Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait till we can just get free and clear of that place. And man.
Oh, Bob, how many trick-or-treaters did you have there?
I didn't count. I just put a bowl full of candy out there. And one thing that was cool was that there's a couple of the neighbors right over here who've been here ever since the homes were all brand new. I saw them earlier in the evening take out a portable steel fireplace, and they built a bonfire out on the road, and they had a bonfire going, and the wife had a big bowl of candy, and some of them sat around talking, and I went over and joined them. Hey, had my coffee, and this must be the place. Hey, hi, Bob. Come on over.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't count because they've been living there for a long time, and they said right about now is when the teenagers will start showing up. They were right, a bunch of teenagers. There was 2 boys, the ones who came to the garage door here, because I had music playing and I'm looking outside after I got done talking with the neighbors. And they were teenagers, and one of the girl was dressed up in a witch's outfit.
Or at least she was dressed up.
And the 2 boys were just wearing blue jeans with big old bags, looking for candy.
Hey,
opportunists, man.
I've seen some postings on Facebook, and I have to agree. it's better than going out looking for candy than getting into trouble.
That's right.
And they can only be kids for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it goes by so fast.
Yeah,
I thought it was great to see teenagers out, walking and doing kid things.
You bet. Yeah.
Being a kid again.
It was good to see the young lady had two fellows with her to guard her, and it was nice to see. There were other teenagers who came around. Nobody got into any trouble. Sometimes they'd be opportunistic and go grab some candy. Other times they're just walking around the neighborhood Halloween night.
Yeah.
Scaring the neighborhood girls. You hear them squeal once in a while. That was good to see.
Neat. I'm so glad you have that instead of the zombie meth addicts.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. My stress level is slowly recovering.
Wonderful.
It's I still find myself waking up at night sometimes, and because it was
traumatic.
It was a crappy place to live, man, but we
very.
got through it.
Very traumatic. I wouldn't do well in a place like that. I would be having panic attacks.
Well, I'm doing well because I got my family. Like right now, my son's moving his stuff, and he's still got a 357 on his hip.
Yeah.
Because I know that I got backup if something happens.
Yeah.
Same with my wife. She always wore her 9.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Brenda.
Got through it.
I definitely wish they would have. When I went and got my medical card, they really should go over with you when you go there that you're not allowed to purchase firearms because they didn't. So now I would have to go through, my husband picking up more for me, but I don't know if he necessarily wants to because he's not as into it as
well, Carol,
the prepping and all that.
There are some other alternatives to the full powered firearms that are not covered. The high powered air rifles and stuff.
Yeah, Walmart's starting to get stuff back. It looks like in stock.
I think for women,
remember
they need
when
to
they
go
weren't
for
carrying a thing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Bob. What?
For women, I think they need to strap something for real, because you got to think about it, Carol. What would happen if I attacked you, even though I'm old and out of shape?
Dead because you're like 6 foot forever.
Yeah, 6 foot 200 pounds in decent shape, but
Yeah.
And somebody who's 40 years younger than me, who's high on meth, go for something that's real.
Yeah.
But
I remember Chris Single Dad Homesteading, who he was an air marshal, and when I told him back then, all we had was the 22. All we had was the 22. He goes, at least you have something. He goes, but you better aim for their neck and hit their jugular. He's like, I want you to have something more than that in your house.
Aim for the heart. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, exactly. It's like, make them bleed real bad wherever you're going to aim. It's like, make them bleed real bad.
That's what I like. I just saw a shotgun.
I know, T-Bar.
Next time I want
something larger, but I'd like a pew pew.
Next time my wife is up here, I'm taking her over to the gun shop here. They have a what's called a whippet gun. Shotgun. It's basically it's manufactured away, so it's not a sawed-off shotgun, but there's no stock on it. It just has the pistol grip on it. It's got the 16.5-inch barrel, it has 3.
It's probably the Mossberg Shockwave or something like that.
Most of them are Mossbergs. There's another brand in there too. They come everything from 12 gauge down to 410.
Yep.
And the 410 is easy to handle. And a 410 aimed at someone's thigh, they're bleeding out because you're gonna take out the femoral artery.
Even with bird shot, it will deflesh bone.
Yeah.
But Carol, you might want to look into Florida state laws. But like right over here behind me is a pump shotgun. That's my wife's.
That's what I have. I have now the shotgun that has the magazines that'll hold 5 and 1 in the chamber.
But what I mean is like if you want to look into Florida state laws, Because like sometimes I'll carry a compact 357. That's my wife's, and I'm still within my legal rights to open carry or concealed carry that when it's in my wife's name. You know, the police can just run the serial number and it comes right up.
Oh, I can have it gifted to me in Florida. I know that. Like my husband could go out and get it and gift it to me, and it's legal.
Yeah.
Michelle's at 996. Needs 4 more.
Cool. We're getting there.
I hope she gets it. I hope she gets it.
Pepper spray is being promoted here for self-defense. And then read what he says. But we Indians, we just inhale it like any other spicy food.
That's true. That's true.
Too funny.
What about mace then?
Mace is chemical. Ooh. Don't eat. No, that's bad. Don't eat that. Don't eat that.
You don't want the like gel that's the bear spray though. That's here. Stardew. You don't know if you want to inhale that.
This is what I have on my table at all times. This stuff. It's some of that pepper gel. It has a range of about 12 feet, but it doesn't blow back on you when you spray it. It's got a dye mixed in with it so that it sticks to your skin, your clothing, everything, so that you can be identified later.
Yeah, it turns the attacker's face red, basically.
Yes, it does, and all their clothes. And
it takes weeks to get rid of that from your skin.
Yeah. I saw the Portland police using this on out of control rioters, and there was this huge dude running right at the police, yelling, "Come get me! Come get me!" And this was the exact same brand. This cop goes right in his face, and went like that, and another cop runs around behind him, grabs his ponytail, and away you go, dude. You asked for it.
Realize that.
When I worked for the sheriff's department, there was a brand out there called Curb, and Mace. Most of Mace has a chemical called CN in it. That's the initials for it. And CN is in the academy. They say CN. They cry now, so it hits you hard, and it tapers off slowly. The other one that was out there is called CS, and they say they refer to that as chicken shit. It's chicken shit to use that on somebody. You can spray somebody with it, and it may take 5, 6, 7 seconds for it to hit them, but when it does, they think they've been hit by a couple sledgehammers.
Oh yeah, I was CS gassed in the Air Force. Several times. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Curb is a mixture of both of them. So first they hit by the CS, the CN, so they're crying now. And they hit by both at the same time. They cry now, okay, I can get through that, and then the CS hits them. I never had anybody I used it on, put up a struggle after the CS hits them. Because now they got 2 different pain centers.
Sabre brand. The one on Amazon India has Sabre brand. They have to
Sabre brand.
Sabre.
Yeah, Sabre brand.
I'm reading it in Spanish. Sorry, Stardew.
Yeah, it's but yeah, I mean that stuff is just the thing is it didn't spray like normal pepper spray, like normal mace did. It shot out. It was like a stream of water coming out of there. So when you saw you could adjust quickly and just hit the person right where you want to hit them.
I have this in all of our cars, by the way, along with a go bag with some food, water, and all that. Yeah. It's so simple. Just pull the pin, and the release is right there. You got a nice handle on it.
Yeah. Tibor, you're right. When I was in the academy, 2 of us. They first they gave us the CS, the CN on a Q-tip on the eye, before we went to lunch. And we're like, I'm looking around, everybody else crying and whining. The other guy stops. He starts looking around. We're looking at each other. We're going, okay. We got back from lunch. Then they pulled out the CS smoke canister, and the sheriff from the sergeant from the sheriff's department was out there doing it. He had just a metal coat hanger, wrapped it around him, popped it, and had it out there, was going like this, and was make sure the wind was blowing from him to us. And we're there looking at him. He smokes us, and we don't do anything. And he comes back to us, smokes us, and he starts waving it more and more, and caught it and wrapped it around his own leg and gassed himself. But we were the only two. We were the only two that the CS did absolutely nothing for in the academy.
Come on!
I got put into a gas chamber.
No. The DI came up. He goes, "You two are 1 out of 10,000."
I got CS gassed in a gas chamber in the Air Force several times.
Yeah.
But baby. Oh, buddy, that incapacitates you.
Yeah.
But like Tibor says, he's seen people walk through CS. Yeah. There are people out there that neither CS or CN affect.
Yeah.
And that's off drugs. Then you get the few that are on drugs, and it's like, forget it. If they're on certain drugs, forget you can hose them down, and it's not going to affect them till several hours later when they're starting to come down. And then,
seriously, if you can't smell, like if you do have smelling problems, it can be a sign of future like dementia. So please get that checked out.
All of us came out of that gas chamber. Some people vomited. I had strings of snot running out of my mouth and nose while I'm down on the concrete, praying for death. And that's bad stuff, man.
When I was in the army, we on our basic training, we should do some tests on our gas masks.
Yeah, that's what it was for.
Yeah, and we had a shed we had to go into, and inside that shed there were a lot of tear gas. And when it was my turn, I thought my gas mask would work perfectly, but it didn't. It leaked wrong size. So my eyes and the throat, it was itching my throat. My eyes were, just
like
the Niagara Falls. And then I had to change the gas mask to another size, and I had to went back, and it worked. So,
it
was horrible. It was horrible because I coughed for I don't know for how long, and it gets stuck in your clothes too.
Yes, it does.
You can smell that tear gas for days.
That's horrible.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
One of the things they told everybody in the academy is don't use chapstick. Ladies, don't use lipstick. Don't put on makeup. Clean skin, so it comes because it'll stick to the makeup and keep on burning. Well, clean skin, it'll dissipate. And LG onions are totally different. What onions do is
it's sulfuric gas, isn't it?
Yeah, it mixes with the moisture in your tear ducts and stuff and creates sulfuric acid. Yeah, that burns the crap out of me.
Yeah, me too. But I'm sensitive to sulfur anything.
Yeah, I mean, I just hate doing onions.
Yeah, although my daughter and I can't figure out she thought it was a skunk. We've gone on 95 from her school so much, which is in an area that could be known for a little drug activity. And we've gotten behind skunky cars, like where you can smell the skunky smell. We were on 95 going home, and I was like, oh, now I can't tell. Is that a skunk or is that? She's like, Mom, there's no car near us. I'm like, I still don't trust it. There's one up there. She's like, it's way up there. I'm like, I don't trust it. Still, they could have their window down. It's bad. Those smells are bad. Very sulfury. Horrible. Yeah. My nephew's trained my mom. My mom. I got a total broken signal. Is that all of us that just went, or was it just my signal?
I think it was just yours. Because you started going, you did a little. On
your, I know, I saw you guys to do it too, but I was doing it. My mom was trained.
Everybody else was still moving. Everybody else was still moving here.
But me. But on my side, I'm saying it looked like everybody kind of did the same. because my signal. Anyway, my mom was trained that it was just a weed that blooms that time of year. Anytime she smelled it, is what my nephews told her, and she believed them when she would smell pot. They, oh no, Mom. No, that's just a weed that it blooms this time of year and smells like that. I'm like, yeah, it's a weed, and people smoke it, Mom.
Yeah, exactly what it is.
Because we were at the beach, and I'm like, ooh, somebody's smoking up there in the sea grapes. And she's like,
There's something
no,
else.
it's just a weed that blooms.
Yeah, there's
It is a weed.
another weed that is not marijuana that blooms in Northern California, in the Bay Area there, and only does it for about 3 weeks. But during that 3 weeks, you swear everybody's smoking pot around there, but it's not pot.
Oh, okay.
It's
So
something
maybe
else.
that's where they got it from. That idea.
Hey, prepping to endure.
Hey, P2E, what's up?
When I do onions, what I have to do, I have to put the onions in the refrigerator and make sure they're really cold before I cut them.
You also wet your cutting board, is what I always heard. You wet your cutting board, and then you can even rinse the onion after you cut it. You rinse it and put it down on a wet cutting board. It helps a little bit.
Yeah, anything to keep it cool so that the vapor doesn't evaporate.
Mm-hmm. Smell a fresh skunk on a 45 to 50 degree morning. You're sad. How about when your AC doesn't work and your windows are down in your car and it's 80 degrees? That's even better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, close. 2 left. P2E, do you have Misha Lee? She only needs like 2 more people.
She needs 2.
Chanel of des skunk.
Hey,
Like
you know where
water.
Tibor, you're not that far off. A lot of the perfumes take some of the
beaver.
No, skunk.
They use beaver too. They use the beaver vanilla. That's what they use it for.
The one that makes the skunk stay so long, one of the part of the stuff that makes it stay so long is used in a lot of the perfumes, has been for decades to make it stay long and last. And then they get that, and they kind of try to clean the scent out of it from the skunk and everything, and then they add the other flavors and stuff to it.
I don't know if you would. It's like a stink bomb. Not really. It's a special kind of stink bomb smell. Skunk. Stardew doesn't have them there.
Oh, you're lucky.
You're lucky. Yeah.
We don't have skunks here either, so.
Oh wow, you're lucky too. But then again, Stardew, you guys get the king cobra, so I'll keep our skunks.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't want to trade either.
And if you're ever watching an old Western and they talk about a polecat and they go, oh, that's a 2-legged polecat. Basically what they're saying, that guy's a skunk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Misha Lee is the channel. Maybe you could drop it again.
Let's see if I can.
Prepping to endure doesn't.
Oh, yeah, start.
Oh, thanks, P2E.
That's the one. I think this is it here. Let me get back over here to the comments. This is Joe. The one you put in the side chat is in the private. The private. Okay, there it is. It's coming out there. So that's what I just put out there. Is
Tibor, you're gonna make me pee. Folks. That's a good one.
Yeah, deer musk it gets kind of bad too. But from what I understand, that certain goats.
Oh, goats! Yeah, when they pee on themselves.
When they pee on themselves and they pee on everything else, and during that time, their pee actually changes during that rut time.
Yeah, that rut. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's a hard thing to get off of you if it gets on you too. Yeah. It's Misha Lee. Just posted, I think, the link for it, right?
Yeah, I just post it.
That's a good one right there, Stardew. Do like what Tibor says, or don't. Yeah. So nasty.
Oh, eggs. Oh, rotten eggs. Oh.
Yeah,
No.
I know how that smells.
Oh,
Bob.
It's horrible.
I think it was
Reminds me of
fourth grade. A
Reminds
young
me of,
lady.
Easter, when you would always have that smell because you forgot to find one of them, like you dyed all the eggs, and then
A robin's egg. In the fourth grade, one of the girls found a robin's egg, and she wanted to hatch it. And she put some paper towels and put it in the window of the classroom and left it there for a while, days. And then some of the girls gathered around it. Oh, let's see if it's ready to hatch. And they dropped it on the floor. A little rough. Oh, baby. In the classroom.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Bob, I have one word to say for you in the Philippines.
Potty, so I don't pee my pants.
What?
Balut.
Yeah, I know balut. Yeah, I've eaten it.
Let
Oh,
oh man!
So a couple of people at work brought some balut in, and for the potluck. Oh man! Oh, people were puking.
Why?
Ew.
Why?
Half developed egg feed. Oh yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, it's delicious. It is. It's delicious. I love
it. Eat cabbage, hard-boiled eggs, and baked fish. Next thing you wish you smelled a skunk. That's sort of like, that reminds me of the scene from Blazing Saddles where all the bad guys are sitting around the campfire eating beans. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And Slim Pickens comes out of the tent and goes, oh, man, gee, what died around here?
So, Gil, Misha's at $9.99. What more?
All right. So the link I tossed in there, it's still just up there a little bit. She needs one more. I gave her two. I gave her one from each of my channels. Mongo like beans.
Take care, Gare.
All right. Yeah. Oh, man.
So what's the schedule for the rest of the week?
Let's see. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Who's it? Laura is doing someone for her afternoon noontime video interview. I'm trying to remember who it was. Shoot. Hang on. Let's see if I can find it over here. And that's at
Danny Day's Homestead. Is that it?
I'm looking. That's the 2:00 Eastern time. Where is it? I don't see it. It's not popping up here for me. Let me try something else here real quick. Homestead. What's she doing? Does it show it? Interview with Ann Dale.
Oh.
So she's interviewing Ann Dale at 2:00 Eastern. Then she has her later one that night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thursday, I have the Midnight Ride. Starts at 5 minutes to midnight Eastern time on Thursday. Friday, Courtney has the at noon, 12 o'clock Eastern, the Blue Ribbon Canning panel. If Tammy's there, if Tammy can't make it in, then it's going to be a Friday free for all type chat. Friday night at 10 o'clock, I have Friday night on the Homestead on Camp Patton Family Compound. And Courtney's doing Saturday evening. I think, or it's a Friday evening. Or I mean, Friday after mine, or something. I'm not sure.
She's doing Friday evening. I'm doing Saturday.
Yeah, she does it 15 minutes after I stop on Friday, and then Carol's moved to Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see if I do it this Saturday. We'll see. I'm gonna try.
Mm-hmm. And Joe, you have Sunday, of course.
Sunday fun day.
And are you doing anything else? Any other lives during this week?
No live. I'll just be putting, reviews like this out, but that's about it.
Okay.
You need to do the day after review, like of how you feel.
You see my community
around the other side. Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious. Like, just do a rundown on the different ones. Like, okay, this was really bad.
This one going in wasn't bad. Coming out was horrible.
When you have a chance, check out my community page. You'll take a laugh at it. You'll laugh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, I have a feeling that some of these the after effect reviews on some of these pepper challenges would read like the gummy bears from the sugar-free gummy bears from Amazon.
You have to see this. This is so. I don't know if I can still bring it up. I was going to take a picture of it. I was looking for toilet locks for the kid, so he'll stay out of the toilet, playing with the toilet. Let me go about your thing. Let me see if I can find it.
But yeah,
review.
Some of those are some pretty insane things there. So touching back on it, on the 1,000 subscriber giveaway challenge here. Let me pull it up here. We are looking at Joe in first place with 8 points. Rebel Canners, White Family Farm, Carpenter Self-Alliance, and Phelan Klein Wolf all have 1 point. So that's for the Gray Man Prepping 1,000 subscriber giveaway challenge. The rule video is on actually, did I put it down in the description here? Hang on, let me see. Did I put that? I think I may have forgot today to put it down in the description. Let's see here. Yeah, I forgot to put it in the description of this video. I've been putting it in some of my video in the description, so I just forgot to put it in this one here, but it's on the channel.
I got a potty training, what do you call it, like the toilet handle lock ordered. And I went to the reviews and I was like, well, let me see if this thing works. Well, the first review I found made me think of Barry and his cats. It says, my cat figured out how to flush the toilet. Search online to find something to prevent her from increasing my water bill. But this isn't like the review isn't funny. What's funny is the pictures. Here she is on the side of the toilet after he puts it on. Here she is from another angle. Here she is trying it again. He put the lock on and she couldn't make it work anymore.
Cats are such sneaky little
meat. But it was so funny. She's like, let me try it from this way.
That ain't working. Why can't I flush this damn toilet anymore?
My game. He ruined my game.
I had a more than one cat over the years who would start pulling the roll of toilet paper.
Oh yeah, they love that.
And it's like,
yeah. That's what
are you doing?
That was what Malachi was doing this morning. While I was asleep. He was and then wetting it, and he was throwing it various places.
Oh Lord. At least my cat didn't do that. I walked in on that damn cat doing it once, just going like this, having a blast, and I go, "Are you having fun?" The cat's like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, how do they know that it's like really? They do know they're being naughty. They do.
They do know. You bet they do.
Cats
When they
are
knock
not
all your
stupid.
stuff over,
No,
they're
they're not stupid.
smart, man.
They can tell by tone of
Yeah.
voice.
Mhm.
One of the comics, funny scene I like following. My wife and I follow. It's called Rose is Rose,
Oh yeah, I remember
and
Rose's.
they have the little kitty called Peekaboo. And Peekaboo does all sort. I mean, always, she gets up on the counter. She goes, "No one's around. I can do my prohibited counter dance." And up there walking along and knocking stuff off, and all of a sudden, Peekaboo! And the cat goes up, and Jimbo was hiding in one of the kitchen cabinets underneath and stuck his head up. You're not allowed up there.
They know. They definitely.
They know.
For sure. I need a lip balm. Sorry, I'm looking for lip balm. My lips
Okay,
get
go.
so
I'm
dry.
gonna step down, guys. I got to wake up in a couple hours.
All right.
Yeah. Have a good night.
I'll see everybody during the week.
It's
Good
been up
day
here for
tomorrow,
almost
too,
2.5 hours. Yeah,
Okay, Joe.
it's been a fun night here tonight.
It's good night. Bye, everyone in the chat. Take care. I'll see you
Peace.
soon.
All right, Joe. All right, so let me grab this other thing, throw it up here real quick here so I have information. So Thursday night is the Midnight Ride. On Friday, it's Friday Night at the Homestead. You guys have time to think about this.
Yeah.
What is the one thing you really, really want for your preps or your garden or your homestead? The one thing that you really, really want. Tell me what you really, really want. I really, really want.
Move out of the United States, but I just don't know where. And prep there instead.
So what is the one thing you really, really want? And that's what we're going to talk about on Friday.
Wow. Vitra, did you see what he just wrote in the side chat?
Where?
Scary.
Barry?
Ledge dancers.
No, not ledge dancers. No.
Oh,
No.
unlimited fresh water.
I didn't know that they were putting a freeze on them.
Putting a freeze on ledge dancers?
No, handguns.
Yeah.
Oh,
In Canada.
Canada is.
Oh,
It passed.
Yeah.
I wonder how soon they're coming after ours with that happening there.
It's going to be a bit harder here. Monday, this coming Monday, on the Monday Night Fireside chat, we're going to be talking home safety checks. It's because Monday is the first Monday.
I hope you get a gear.
Back on standard time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we're talking about all the things you need to do that maybe didn't do on Sunday for with the time change. So, and so with that, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, and we'll get on other stuff later on here. And
yeah, that would be great. Where to begin? Unlimited fresh water. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Gear, his own land for a garden.
Yeah.
So this is the type of things we're going to be talking about on Monday.
Mm.
All right. And people, if you're not subscribed to everyone that's been up here on the panel, I think everybody here is subscribed to everybody that's on the panel.
Yeah.
If you're not, please hit them up. And we're going to wrap this up here. I want to thank Carol, Bob, Sweet,
that's awesome.
Joe, everyone is up here. So thank you for coming up and sharing about their families, things they learned from their parents, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. And we will see you later. So
Later.
take care.
Bye.
Me too. That reminds me.